Welcome to the channel's book club. 2013 has been an amazing year in terms of happenings in the literary space in Nigeria. New books, new writers, new book festivals, new literature awards, winners of international awards, and lots of other interesting developments emerged in 2013. We have two very special guests who both play important roles in promoting Nigerian literature and encouraging our reading culture. Titilayo Oyinsan is a popular radio presenter with Inspiration FM, one of Nigeria's leading private radio stations. She is the host of On Air Book Club, a program focused on promoting Nigerian books, writers, and a reading culture. Titi is also the founder of Nigeria Women in Business Network, which serves as a platform for women entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Chuma Nwokolo Jr. is a Nigerian lawyer, writer, and the publisher of African Writing Magazine. He is the author of the poetry collection Memories of Stone, the serial Tales by Conversation, and a few novels including Diaries of a Dead African and The Ghost of Sonny Abacha. Tosin and Chuma joined us to share their observations and thoughts on what went down in 2013 in Nigeria as far as literature is concerned. Please join us after this break. Thank you for coming on the channel's book club.
Thank you for
My pleasure.
having me.
2013 has been an exciting year. Let's start on a general note here. What's your take on literary happenings in Nigeria in 2013, Chuma?
I would say it would start with the epoch, the end of an epoch, with Chinua Achebe's passing. And for me, that marks a lot of things. It marks the coming of age of Nigerian literature, of African literature. It also marks the fact that a lot of things that we've taken for granted, we have to start appreciating them. So that for me would be the high point of the year. It's not a really sad event because he was not a young man. He had done his best work, and but it was a very emotional time for anybody in literature, anybody who reads his books.
Titilayo, I mean, you have this wonderful radio program. You invite authors, you do book readings and so on. What's your take on 2013 in Nigeria, generally speaking now?
Just as Mr. Nwokolo said, the master himself, Chinua Achebe, I happen to read English language and literature in Unilag, and I had some fantastic lecturers who actually made sure we understood how important he was to us, providing us with an opening, into a new world. Literature has become something so great in Nigeria because of people like him. 2013 for me, I saw a lot of new themes, new emotions, new types of expression coming from different authors. And then, of course, a lot of new authors came out this year. Whether they could be considered classics yet or not, it still remains to be seen. But a lot of great new things are happening in the world of literature.
Okay. How about the emergence of the book festivals? Maybe I should use the book festival, Ake Arts and Book Festival. I know you were there, Chuma. That happened about a month or two ago at Abeokuta. What impacts did that have on Nigeria, and going forward, how do you see that influencing things in Nigeria?
I think the Ake Festival was an incredibly ambitious festival. I was there. I was also, and it was incredible to see the energy that you can create just by bringing that number of writers. Our Nobel laureate was there. He had a book to launch. He had a play there, and he also took part in a book chat. There were a number of book chats, and there were. The festival was directed by Lola Shonaye, who is both an author and who's both a novelist and a poet, and now obviously a festival director. Who knows the limits of our talents? But I think its significance for us is the fact that it's not the first, it won't be the last. It's one of a long series of festivals which we have in Nigeria, but it has upped the ante in terms of simply the scale, and there's a lot of expectation for subsequent years.
So it seems we have at least 4 big ones now in Nigeria. There's the Garden City Festival, the Lagos Book and Art Festival, Ake Festival, it's one other one somewhere there. I mean, let's go back to you. Just like, what do you think? Let's add this to it. This year, Tokwe Folari, I think, won the Kane Prize. Sade Padeola won the NLNG award, and one or two other ones. There was a Nigerian who won the Commonwealth Literature Award and all that. So we've got all these Nigerians winning these awards. We've got these new book festivals. We've got these new books and authors. Imagine, what does that tell you? Is there a literary renaissance going on in Nigeria quietly?
I wouldn't call it a renaissance, but I believe what is happening is Nigeria is being recognized for something other than, rather than fraud, or rather than the negatives, rather than, different, religious groups and different issues we have in the country. We're being recognized for the fact that we are actually artistic people. We actually have a sense of emotion and expression, and we do know how to put it on paper. A lot of people, if you ask them, if you're in other countries, they probably still think, and it's very sad to say this, that we still live in trees. And then when you develop, things that bring people to your country, those festivals eventually will bring international arts enthusiasts and book enthusiasts to the country. And they'll begin to see that we're more than just a nation of people that don't have as many literate people as we should by now in this century. Hopefully in the next year, 2 years, in fact in months, hopefully as these festivals begin to unfold, as more people are encouraged to create more festivals and associations and groups of people that love books, we will be known a lot more, for a lot more. And there is a direction to all these books. There's a direction. A lot of women are writing women's issues. A lot of men are writing self-help books. A lot of people are writing books for children as well. So it's not even just, it's not as if we're politically, maybe it's not just about politics. It's not just about trying to just show people that you're educated. No. There are people that are actually trying to use what they know and what they do and their art and their skill to actually help others with situations and the ideas that they have, might just be able to do that. So it's a lot. You could call it a literary revolution now. But the truth is, I believe we have to start with this generation that's coming behind us, which is why I decided to start the book club. The generation coming after us now, sometimes I hate hearing this thing. You hear parents, they come home from work and you see the kids playing and you're like, go and read your book. Why are you making noise? But the truth is, in your living room, on your center table, are there books? Or is it just TV remote controls?
Books like this.
Books like this, yes. If you, as a parent, I'm not judging parents here because I know that they're going through a lot of challenges and God will help everyone. But hey, children, the next generation, they do what they see their parents do. They don't do what parents say they should do. And well, gone are those days where if you say something, a child will instantly react and then go and do it. But once they see that mom and dad love doing this, love reading, they'll take it up.
Titi mentioned something about the diversity of subjects some of these books are addressing. Is there still not a bias in Nigeria for political books, religious books, motivational books? I know Nasser El-Rufai's book sold quite a number of thousands. The same thing with General Alabi Sama's book, Tragedy of Victory, and all that. So what do you think about that? Is there still that very strong bias or tendency towards such books?
And Chinua Achebe's, there was a country obviously sold by the truckloads. But that's the point, you know, books sell when they're controversial. So controversy always sells books, whatever the genre. But beyond that, we have to recognize that books, literature as a whole, is can be part of pop culture. If you look at music, if you look at film, the third part of that triplet is literature. So it's not any literature, it's not literary literature, it's pop literature, which means that we have to make a concerted effort to engineer books that will sell to people. There's no point telling people read when there is nothing to read, or when there's nothing appropriate to read. People will read what's appropriate to them, appropriate to their level of understanding, appropriate to their level of appreciation, even to their language. So if you write a book that has you going to the dictionary every line, you cannot expect that book to be a pop success. So, and we do need those books that appeal to the generality of people in order to kickstart a revolution. We need such books. We need books in the crime genre.
Yes, crime genre.
We need books, even if you want to call it our basically the romance genre, because this is a subject that interests a lot of people. My friend Tony Khan writes a lot, very
romance,
very not necessarily romance, but with an understanding of the male-female dynamic. And this book, these stories can appeal to a large cross-section of people.
Yeah, but what happened to those books? Years ago, there used to be the Peseta series. I don't know if you can remember the Peseta series. They used to be very popular.
I remember them because I actually wrote 2 of them.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Wow. I've actually heard of the series. I've never read any. But I'm going to make sure I make some moves too.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Which ones did you write?
In 1983, my first book was actually a Peseta. It was The Extortionist. And my second book was also a Peseta, Dangerous Inheritance. So, yes.
Because people only know you these days for The Ghost of Sonny Abacha and Diaries of a Dead African.
Yeah, Diaries of the Dead African is 10 years this year. So.
Wow, this doesn't look like a book that was written 10 years ago. You've changed
it had a new skin.
Okay.
This is a 10th birthday present.
It's
wearing a new dress for its birthday.
Okay.
Red like the chairs and like my dress.
Okay.
So you wrote 2 of the Peseta series.
Yes, I did.
Interesting. I mean, they used to sell a lot.
So I can vouch for that. Those books were exceptionally popular. I don't think there's been another series that has been, that popular in its age group, and that's the impact of popular books. They are essential because they can change the reading environment for the target population, which is what we need in Nigeria.
I only remember Evu My Love, something like that. I can't remember. It's funny.